get everything set up on the computer while I'm doing so. Try to Hey Stacy, how you doing tonight? All right, let me get things set up on the computer real quick, Stacy. But how you doing?
See, change is inevitable, so it's never too late to make a difference as an individual. Cause we gotta do that to become better as a whole. All for one, and one for all.
All right. I gave everybody enough time. Getting hot in here already. So how the fuck are we doing tonight, Wolfpack? Good. I hope. Good. I hope. Well, I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm doing all right. I'm battling my own demon and shit today. It's not affecting me that bad, but it is affecting me somewhat to understand to understand what this is doing for me. And basically I went and spoke to my biological father yesterday. For for the ones uh that is watching right now, if you're new here, this is Yana's Wolfpack. Uh, it is spelled YANAS, and then Wolfpack. Yana stands for You Are Not Alone. We are mental health advocates and a support group. We're on Facebook, uh, YouTube, podcasting, all that good stuff. Just search for Yana's Wolfpack. And any questions, comments, suggestions, want to tell me to shut the fuck up, want to tell me to get a real job, whatever you want to send me, just send me an email at yanaswolfpack@gmail.com. Just that's also in the bio of the page. So, but we're gonna get into it. Give me a second because I gotta take this sweater off. I'm already freaking burning up. Uh, Oh, I didn't wear my shirt tonight. I didn't wear the wolf shirt. Got so many damn Bluetooths to head on. So I titled this live that forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. It's not about them. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna try and move this other camera that I got. I'm going live in two different places because TikTok doesn't allow me to stream live yet. So I'm also going live on my computer in the group and on YouTube. So yeah, I did something. For people who don't know the backstory that may be watching, me and my biological father. And when I say biological father, that is the man that obviously made me. Um, I have two dads, a step up dad, uh, that came into my life. I'm 36 years old. He came into my life about when I was 2. Met my mother, and since I was a little bitty baby, he took care of me since I've been 2 years old. So for 34 years, that man stepped up. Never once has he, called me anything but son. Even to total strangers, they don't even realize that I'm not his blood son. Um, I said, 36 years old, and he's still my dad. Now, and I don't want to get this twisted. This isn't a bash fest. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but you know, I don't want to discredit my biological father either because my biological father was in my life. Um, if it wasn't for my biological father, I probably would have never made it out of the Marine Corps alive because of the things that I'd gone through in there with him or gone through in there that I wanted to. I guess I'm not allowed to say that word on TikTok, but I wanted to harm myself, if you get what I'm saying, quite a few times while I was in the Marine Corps because of everything I was going through. Um, so definitely, not discrediting my biological father whatsoever because he was a good dad too. You know, uh, it just him and my mom didn't work out, and he was there. He taught me a lot. Raised me as best as he could, all that. Well, around 8 years ago, we decided to open up a vape store together. Just before, like vaping really got huge, and the only place around here that I live was with the vape store was JoJo Vapes. And so we come up with a plan, and we kind of talk to JoJo Vapes, everything like that. So we decided to start a business together. Well, me and my biological father had made a deal. We both were worried because you know what they say, like you don't go into business with family. That's just something business and family and friends just don't mix. Something always happens. Um, Me and my biological father was very close, very close. I mean, damn near, like best friends. Like we had a great relationship up until this point. Was always there for me, talked me down a lot, everything, we didn't always see eye to eye, but in the same, sense, like I just said, you don't mix business and family, right? We had made a deal about when we went into business together that this wouldn't affect our relationship as father as son. And when unalive, I like that, Stacy. I didn't think about saying that. Yeah, when I went to unalive myself, uh, yeah, we went into business together, and it went. What the fuck was that? Oh, hold on. Let me turn my notifications off real quick. My bad. So went into business together, and as could probably figure it out. We basically lost our relationship when we lost that business because I felt like he had betrayed me. We went in as partners. Um, and that way it's an open book. I don't want it ever to be fucking said, different. Like, I went in, I was the vape mixer. That's all I wanted to be. And I did like inventory, I did the ordering and stuff. He was put in charge of, basically the business, but it was agreed that under both of us, any major decisions, we went in as partners. He just ran the day-to-day shit. He was like the manager of the store basically. And, he ran the bills, everything like that. Well, I had a very, very fucked up time during my life. The store lasted for about 2-3 years. He actually went to sell the business out from underneath me without me knowing. I actually had the person he was talking about selling to was a competing vape store call me for his number because he had left his number with somebody else there, and she was trying to get a hold of him and was asking me for his number, and that's how I found out. Pretty fucked up way to find out. So with that led into a spiral. I was a way different person than what I am today. I'm an even more different person than I realized after last night. Went into a very big spiral. Uh, I don't know if I can say this on Facebook or TikTok. But if I get kicked off of TikTok, this is what the fuck happened, you know. Um, the girlfriend I had at the time, the baby mom, mother of my youngest child, we were together. We were splitting up. Um, we were, you know, arguing about this business. You know, there was other things going on in my life, everything like that. It had to been around like 2014, 2015 time frame. And I was dealing with, you know, I hadn't even found out and understood that I had and suffered with back then. You know, now I call it battling with, but back then I was suffering with anxiety and depression and PTSD and everything like that from the Marines and just what's happened with my life, period. Uh, didn't understand that I was going through that a lot back then. You know, I thought, you know, being in the Marines and being a man and just how I was, I'd like, this is just what life is, you know, having anger problems and not showing emotions and, you know, uh having fears about different stuff and laying in bed for days and at a time, you know, and not wanting to do anything. And you know, I didn't really understand all that. Well, it come to pass after all's said and done. I uh I had a mental breakdown at this point. Everything that I was going through, again, you know, baby mom leaving me, the struggle of the things that happened to me in the Marines, and you know, um, just anxiety, depression. Mic is muted. Damn, my mic muted on the other end, on the other stuff. But uh, during the last 8 years, you know, we have spoke to each other in a sense. We have seen each other out in public, and it's not like father and son. It's not the relationship that we once had where we had a great bond. It was more like an old acquaintance. Smooshy. I don't know who you are, but don't be talking like that in my TikTok. Who is that? So, oh, okay, my bad. Hold on, Stacy, don't do it yet. Okay. my bad, Sonia. Yeah, my bad. I didn't put the name together. uh
I honestly thought it was a male. I thought it was a male cat calling at Kitten. Like, yeah. So my bad. I apologize. I apologize, Sonia. Like that was my bad. Yeah. I feel like a dumbass now. But I'm glad you led off with yes you do. You know who it is, and you didn't just lead off. I'll talk however I want to. Thank you very much. But yeah. So, anyways, thanks for that laugh. I needed that. I needed that. But so we have spoken, seen each other out in public. But like I said, it was like acquaintances. Like, you know, even when we depart in public, it wasn't, you know, no, you know, I love you, you know, this and that. It was like old friends, you know, or old acquaintances was meeting or something like that. You know, we talk 5-10 minutes and go on about our way. Over the last 8 years, you know, I've reached out to him a few times, you know, about certain subjects. He had an old box truck of mine that, you know, that I was trying to sell. Reached out, you know, for him to that, talked. You know, it wasn't just a, you know, like, hey, I want my box truck, end of conversation, you know, like I remember for at least a couple weeks, we had talked, you know, a couple times, like 2 or 3 times. It was about a good hour conversation each time. But other than that, really hadn't had much contact. I haven't made much contact. He never, you know, fully reached out to me. Matter of fact, I can't even say fully. He never reached back out to me in any way. The last time I had spoke to him was a few months ago. I actually ended up running into him at a bank, and at the bank, it pretty much you know, was the same song and dance. You know, acquaintances. Hi, how you doing? How's life? You know, that's about it. Even after that, you know, he hadn't reached out, made an attempt to call, you know, to get a hold of me or anything like that. So what I haven't told anybody was that for the last couple weeks, like it's been weighing on my mind pretty heavily about me and him not, you know, speaking. And I don't know why. Don't understand why. I just, you know, I come to, you know, I'd say the first couple years that me and him didn't speak, that affected me the most and the hardest because of how close we were. The last 6 years, you know, it didn't bother me. Go on. Get. You can eat some other time. It didn't bother me the last 6 years. And I can't say like it didn't bother me, you know, fully. It just didn't bother me as bad as it did the first couple years. You know, after the first couple years, I just kind of came to terms with it, and he was more of a fleeting thought. Every once in a while, he'd pop up in my mind, or, you know, something like that. The last couple weeks, though, after 8 years, you know, it's been weighing on me pretty fucking heavily. Couldn't figure out why. Didn't understand why. Well, good old social media and TikTok wanted to have a video that I posted in the support group on Facebook a couple days ago. And actually, matter of fact, just yesterday, it wasn't even a couple days, it was yesterday. Found that video and it spoke to me. The video basically talked about, there was a TikTok talking about a guy that him and his dad hadn't spoken in about 10 years. And what are you talking about, babe? Yeah, the dog was no, not chewing on a water bottle. He was chewing on his food. That's why I shoot him out of here. But seen this TikTok video, and it really got me in my feels. I'd finally, you know, after watching this TikTok video, girlfriend somehow like she come in here, and while I was in the office, kind of sensed something was wrong and was like, you know, well, what's going on? And I'm like, this fucking video I just watched, and I hadn't even told her that this whole shit about my dad was weighing on me the last couple weeks so heavily. I was just kind of keeping it, you know, quiet, bottled in. Figured it would just go away like it usually would. Well, after watching that video, I kind of seen it was like, you know, I'm kind of been putting the pieces together. Like I was like, for some reason. So this video, you know, him and his dad hadn't spoken in like 10 years. Finally, he went and spoke to his dad, let him have it, told him all about himself, you know, told him all about his dad. And then his dad turned around and then told him about his life, which the son knew nothing about. Didn't even know that he was married twice before he met his mother. Didn't even know he was in the Marines. Didn't know, you know, all this different stuff, you know, that was going on. And, you know, he had told his dad. And, you know, it got me thinking, you know, it just really got me to thinking. So I basically had already made up my mind. I let the girlfriend, you know, watch that video and kind of just explain to her, like, for some reason, I'm feeling like, go on, can you guys take his food out there in the kitchen, please? His food and water. Is somebody in the kitchen? Can you grab that, please, and take it out there? Thank you. Yeah, that was a very powerful video. You don't have to grab them both at the same time, bub. But that video, like, it made me pretty emotional. Like it fucked me up pretty bad. Like it basically, because of that video, I took it as a sign that I needed to go and speak with my father. And I made that decision. I'm kind of like an impulsive guy. And he's fucking hungry. He waited all damn day to come in here and fucking eat when I was on live. Yeah. Damn dog annoys me. But I waited, you know, until I had taken, you know, and dropped my kids off to their moms. And then thankfully the girlfriend went with me. And, you know, because if it wasn't for her, I was so nervous and my anxiety was so high that I'd have probably pulled over, you know, and turned around half a dozen times. But she kept talking with me. I'd asked her, you know, if she wanted to go. Coincidentally, that was the last night was the very first time that she's ever met my biological father. And we get there. Felt like we didn't receive a very warm welcome from my stepmother. Me and my girlfriend both seen, you know, that and think that she gave a face when I told her, you know, when we got there that you know, was Robert available to speak, which is my biological father's name. And both of us seen her make a face. Now, you know, she said afterwards, you know, after the whole talk and everything, she didn't make a face. And of course, in his very good fashion, he took a sweet time of coming up there. You know, when we first pulled up, like, you know, we sat in the car for a few minutes. I was trying to gain the courage to get up. I wasn't going there for, you know, for any kind of violence. I wasn't, and, you know, like, even though, like, for years I have wanted to friggin' to hurt him severely. But that wasn't the reason I was going. I don't, you know, I honestly don't know why I was going. You know, I don't know why I was even compelled to go there. Why, you know, freaking I felt like I needed to go there. You know, after 8 years, like, you know, it's basically, you know, fucking wash your hands of it. Like he's showing you how he felt. So I don't know why I even felt like I needed to go. But I just did. And y'all know how I am with my anxiety. Like, I try to face my fears. If something comes up with my anxiety, then I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to make myself face this fear. So he finally comes out and sits down on tailgate, you know, and I was like, you know, basically I was like, do you want to talk? You know, are we going to finally talk? And he was like, yeah. So we walked over to the truck. He sat down on tailgate and he was like, well, say whatever you got to say. Get it off your chest. And I, hold on. I got a comment on Facebook. I'm not, hold on. I got to look to see actually. Hey, Hope, how you doing, hon? I'm, sorry to hear about your mother, hon. I definitely sorry. Freaking, I'm also live on TikTok if that makes it any easier for you to go and watch, because everybody's been telling me that Facebook Live has been fucking up a whole lot here lately. So if you would like to join us on TikTok, the TikTok link is in another post in the group, but you can watch us on Facebook. That's up to you. TikTok has just been seeming to work a hell of a lot better here lately. So anyways, so drop my kids off at like around 4. I'd say we got there about like 4:30ish time frame, 5 o'clock. And now, yeah, it had been like 4:30ish. So for the next, I'd say good hour, because hour and a half, because we left at about like 6:30. We went to screaming at each other, screaming and hollering, cussing, everything like that. It was if you don't know how I was 4 years ago, you know, even last year, some people, this will really surprise some people, that I do not like to be touched at all when I'm mad. It's a very big trigger for me. When I'm mad and I am fucking pissed, I try to keep a very good distance away from somebody. One, so I don't reach out and do something that I shouldn't do. And so also, so that person can't do it. Like, I have a very defensive bubble when I'm pissed off and upset. And at one point, like after like, you know, an hour of us cussing and screaming and hollering at each other, he got up to come and hug me, and I backed up a few spaces, and finally, you know, fucking he caught up with me, and he grabbed me and hugged me. I didn't like fall into his arms. I actually told him twice. I was like, please get off me, you know, please let me go. And then, you know, second time I'm like, look, this is the last time I'm going to tell you, please let me go. And, you know, and of course he let me go, and it was like, or what, you know, being a smart ass, or what are you going to do? And I just kind of took a couple steps back. The entire time he was trying to hug me, I literally had my like fist like up to here, like right here, and I kept like feeling myself draw back, and it was like taking everything I could do not to fucking hit him. Like I said earlier, I didn't go there for violence. Somewhere, I mean, I got some pretty good digs in. I mean, I let him I let it out. Like, I truly let him know how I felt. You know, he was pissed off and upset that I called him a sperm donor on the fucking internet, you know, a year after, you know, things had gone down, or, you know, whatever. Was pissed off and upset about that. And I told him, I said, fucking grow the fuck up. You know, grow the fuck up. You know, you're fucking 56 years old. Grow the fuck up. Stop acting like a fucking child. Be a fucking man. Be a father. And all that good shit. Like, yeah, I ain't going to go too deep into the conversation, but I mean, I let him have it. I let him have it. And, you know, and I also know him too. You know, he's a fighter just like me. Like, you know, he did probably pretty fucking good with a lot of shit I said that he didn't get up and bust me. Kind of told the girlfriend on the way there, like, whatever happens, stay out of it. It's going to happen. So, but I'm very glad it didn't end up in violence. And it was weird afterwards that I had thought about it, and I was like, holy shit, that was the first time I think anybody has ever been able to touch me when I've been that mad and upset. And I'm, you know, open fucking book. Like, I was crying a lot of the times. I am definitely a mad crier. A mad crier. I'll get to that in a second, Stacy. Thank you for pinning that. But I'm definitely a mad crier. Like, you know, for when I get so pissed off and I can't fucking hurt somebody or harm somebody, and I'm just that mad, like, I got so much emotions, like, I'll fucking start crying. And then that pisses me off even fucking more that I'm not controlling that shit. And then the other person thinks that they got to me or I'm upset, and it's like, no, I'm crying because I want to strangle you or fucking hurt you so fucking bad, and I can't do it. And like, it's just, yeah, it's I hate that. But I honestly, at the end of it, I don't think anything was really resolved. I did go into a little bit of a mental health fucking schmeal, you know, freaking, because he you know, told me about him and his childhood and was just like, oh, you know, I had, you know, I don't show emotions, and I had this beat into me as a fucking kid that you're an asshole, you don't show emotions and this and that. And I told him, I said, that's a childish ass mentality. That is ridiculous that you're 56 years old and you're still fucking living a life because, you know, that you were fucking done to as a kid. Like, that's a childish ass mentality. If I could fucking change, you could change. And, you know, and I went on to tell him, like, you know, your whole fucking ordeal, like, it's, you know, you wake up every day. You wake up every fucking day when you open your eyes and you have the choice to fucking change. And every fucking day you made that choice not to contact me, not to be in my life for, you know, fucking 8 years. Like, no, it was he finally, you know, after hugging me, which I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to take it. Him hugging me felt more of like a smart aleck smart aleck thing to do, because once he sat back down after letting me go, once he sat back down, he went into immediately that, you know, well, you don't even know what you want, and you don't even know, you know, freaking you don't even know what you want. You don't know, you know, freaking, you know, if you want me in your life or this or that, you know, and I did just try, and, you know, all this and that, like, so, you know, basically the whole conversation, it was, you know, he wasn't taking no blame. He wasn't taking no fucking, you know, no accountability, no shit for the shit that, you know, he's done. It was all put on me. It was all just fucking put on me. So I don't feel like anything was really resolved. I did end up telling him, you know, I told him, I said, I forgive you. I said, I forgive you. For, you know, fucking how you've done me, the way you fucking done me. I forgive you. I said, that's not for you. It's for me. I showed up for tonight for me, not for fucking you. This relationship, if it's not fucking fixed, or if it can ever even be fixed, like, it's the only thing I come to do is to say what I had to fucking say and tell you, I forgive you. Now it's fucking on you. Again, I still don't know why I really fucking went there, but at the end of the conversation, it was, I don't really feel like anything resolved. You know, and I told him, I was like, you know, he asked me what I wanted from him, and I told him, I said, I want change. I want you to put in effort. I want you to actually change and show fucking emotion, you know. And I know I asked him to do basically the impossible, but it's only impossible if he makes it impossible, right? Like, he can make that choice. So I told him, you know, I want you to fucking change. I want you to put in emotion. I want you to fucking put in effort. I want you to do this shit. And after all that, you know, we left. To get to your question, Stacy, friggin', I did feel some relief. I did feel, you know, a lot better. I felt like, you know, a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I felt good, you know, I felt decent. You know, there wasn't no like, you know, big fucking, you know, like, oh, you know, friggin', like, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, it felt good to fucking get everything I needed to fucking say off my chest. Like it really did. It felt good to fucking tell him exactly how the fuck I felt. But as you know, the title is, and you know, it says, you know, fucking forgiveness is not for you, or forgiveness is for you, not them. Apologize. I really learned that yesterday. I really learned that because, like, trust me, I even told my girlfriend on the way there, I said, I feel like a little child right now because I want to fucking kick, scream, and holler and throw a fucking temper tantrum and not go. Like, I don't want to be doing this. Like, I don't fucking want to do this at all. And why I'm being compelled or pulled to fucking do this today, like, I didn't understand it. Still don't understand it. But I realized, you know, that forgiveness is something that I needed. And it wasn't only, you know, the forgiving him for all that shit. It was, you know, to let a lot of the shit fucking go and forgive myself of putting myself in that situation when I was told by plenty of people not to go into business with him. Because of how he is and how he's done other people. A lot of it just felt, it did feel good. Like it did, you know, not just, you know, freaking, like I said, the whole going the fuck off on him and getting out what the fuck I had to say, you know, the forgiveness. If you've been watching, you know, fucking any point in time here lately, I did kind of, you know, talk about my stepdaughter. That's my daughter that I've taken care of that since she's 2. I kind of like, okay, like, you know, I feel like now I need to go have a conversation with her. Like I just had one with my father. Like, I guess a lot of the reasons why I've been doing, you know, was thinking about this yesterday and wanted to do this was like, I don't want to have no regrets. You know, I even reached out to my sister, you know, and it's not the first time I've done that, but I reached out to her again and, you know, try to tell her, you know, I love her, miss her, you know, want to reconnect, want to friggin', you know, fix things, want to, you know, move on with the life, whatever fuck we need to do. Like, I was in a very, very emotional state yesterday, and leading up to today. But I do think some good came out of it because not only was I able to forgive him and just let it go in it, and it truly is now, it is what it is. It's on him. It's whatever he wants to do. Whether he calls me now or not, he wants to be in my life or not, it's on him. And I'm not going to stress about it. There's other factors, you know, to think about it, then, you know, but you know, I'll deal with those when it comes. But I also, you know, kind of felt like, you know, being in the group and doing this whole mental health support advocating friggin' thing, that I was being a bit of a hypocrite. I felt like I was being a bit of a hypocrite of not practicing what I preach, not actually, you know, doing the things that I, you know, tell other people to do. And that weighed on me heavily. Like that got to me a lot because it was like, I don't want to be looked at. I want to be looked at like a man of my word. And if I'm out here telling these people these things, then I need to practice what I preach. I need to make sure I do it, you know, and I know, you know, friggin' many of you watching that's followed me for a while has heard me talk about my biological father. And I've been very adamant. I will never fucking forgive him. I don't want to forgive him. I'll fucking see him at his grave. That's probably going to how it's going to fucking be. So for me to do that yesterday was a very big step. And for me not to put my hands on him was a very, very big fucking step. To be able to control myself and restrain myself enough, not to choose violence like I used to all the time was a very, very big fucking step. Like, there's a lot of things that happened yesterday that I'm proud of myself for. And I didn't realize I had even grown that much. But I just didn't want to be the hypocrite. And then after the whole, ordeal of, everything, then it got me to thinking about my relationship with my daughter, or with my daughter, my kids, period. Like I don't want, my relationship to end like that. And that's kind of why I did it too. Like, if me and my kids ever get into it, I don't want to go 8 years without speaking to my kids. I don't want to go fucking, let it go that fucking long. Yeah, it's been a very emotional couple days. One of the things yesterday, and I know what most of you are going to say, running this group, and the motto is, you are not alone. Something I realized yesterday is that in the midst of all of this, before it happened, before, when I watched the video, I sat here and talked to the girlfriend a little bit, and, that was probably the first or second time she had ever seen me cry. I kind of, I went outside afterwards, and it just kind of dawned on me that I didn't really have anybody to reach out to and talk to, and not in that sense. And I know what you guys, are going to kind of think, and what you guys are going to be like, oh, this group and everything. My thing was I could have reached out to Becky at any point and talked to her. I knew she would have been there. And this is no offense to anybody, no offense to Becky, but I know Becky, and Becky is not what I need. I didn't need a sweet, gentle touch. I could have reached out to Stacy at any given point in time. I could have reached out to Sonya, to Rabbit, to Jaybird, friggin', I could have reached out, to Tiffin or Ed or anything like that. I think they were at work at that time. I could have reached out to anybody in this group. I could have got on here, and I had thought about it, getting on here and doing a live and everything like that. But it just dawned on me that it was like that I had pretty much kind of I don't have anybody like me in my life. I don't really have, anybody that like shoots me straight, tells me how it is, gives me that, thing. And it was hard too, because it was like me doing this for so long, and being honestly, Kitten, I have no clue. I haven't spoke to him in quite a long while. But you're gonna have to rephrase that, Becky. I didn't get what you were saying on that one. I'm your guy when it comes to toxic family. Yeah. It's not that. It's just like, I already knew. Like, so if I would have called Becky, I knew exactly how Becky was going to be. I knew exactly what she was going to say. If I would have called, anybody else, I could have called my one uncle and talked to him and knew exactly what the fuck he was going to say. And I did reach out to, to an uncle and an aunt of mine, and ask both their opinions, and, but some of the shit they've been through and stuff like that, and how they was able to forgive people that had done them wrong in their life, and live with it. But it's hard to reach out to people when when you already know the answers. Like it's hard to reach out to somebody else when you're like, when I've been doing this mental mental health supporting and advocating for so long, and I've worked on myself for the last 4 years so much that like my brain was already telling me the things that I needed to do and what I needed to do. So it was like basically like what was the point of reaching out to anybody? Because I already know what I need to do. I already know what the fuck I need to say. I already know, what needs to happen. I know I need to go have this conversation. I do believe in signs. I do. I believe in coincidences or serendipity or the fucking universe or God or whatever the fuck it is. Like, and trust me, yesterday I was pissed off at God. I was calling him quite a few names and told him, like, you're a fucking dick for this. You are a straight dick. That's how I talk to God. He understands. But I have all kinds of different beliefs. It's not just, one certain religion. But yesterday he was kind of getting the blame of some of the shit. And it's not that you guys are chopped liver. It's like, it's just, it's hard to reach out when you already know the answers in your head, when you already know what somebody's going to say and you already know what the answer is. Like, what would be the point of really reaching out when you're just basically going to say, the same shit I'm going to say, fucking, or the same thing that I'm already, thinking. I knew what I needed to do, and like nobody could do it for me. Nobody could talk me into it or talk me out of it. Nobody could, fucking go and have this conversation for me. Nothing. Like, I knew this is what I needed to do. The weeks following up to this and this, weighing so much on my mind, and then seeing that video, like, it was no coincidence I seen that fucking video. It just all of a sudden popped up. And, it actually popped up on my my motivational speaking friggin' TikTok. Or motivational, inspirational, friggin' one that for TikTok. That's what Yana's Wolfpack's supposed to be. Everything else, I don't look at funny shit, anything. I just, do that. And that popped up on that one, on that TikTok. And so it was pretty rough the last couple of days. Leading in the day, I've not done a whole lot. Like, I kind of just tried to process everything. And some part of me, yes, I'll admit, some part of me, even though knowing the outcome, kind of figured that's how that conversation was going to go. I actually kind of figured it would go a lot worse. Because I did, I figured it was going to turn violent. But leading in the day, like, I did have a very long talk with my uncle about, about a lot of shit. But leading in the day, like, I just weirdly was kind of sitting around like, okay, is he going to call? Is he actually going to put out, fucking the effort? Like, is he going to do it? And then in my mind, I'm like, even, like arguing with myself, like, well, what the fuck are you going to do if he does call? What's that going to lead? What's that going to fucking prove? Like, it just back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Well, so Smoochie just said that's different than not having a person to go to. So like when I said that earlier, I want to explain that a little bit. This is all reflective of your growth. I hope you've had time to really absorb that. It is. This is, I truly fucking see, especially last night and today, how much I've truly fucking have grown. And regardless what people want to say about me out there, and regardless, what people, think of the old me, and they ain't met the new me, or fucking, regardless of, their opinion of me now because they knew the me back then, I know I've changed. I know there's way too many fucking signs, case in fucking point that I didn't choose violence last night. any other fucking time, you know. And it kind of makes me wonder too, you know, and my dad had fucking said that last night, like, if, you know, maybe we weren't meant to speak, you know, a year ago or 4 years ago or whatever, however long ago. And he actually had a point, because a year ago, I don't think I could have restrained myself like that. Really, a year ago, I don't think I would have chose violence a year ago. Especially, you know, fucking 4 years ago or 5 years ago, it would have come to violence. But, you know, so maybe this is the time frame it needed to happen. But I'm definitely absorbing a lot of shit, and I'm kind of, you know, I'm more amazed and like astounded, you know, and definitely proud of myself. But it's just like I'm kind of a little bit in awe right now of the growth that I have made over the years. Because, you know, and I've talked about it a lot, you know, and I know, you know, a lot of other changes, but like there's just some certain situations that, you know, if you're put into, then you're just like, yeah, this is how the fuck I'm going to react. And this is what I'm going to do. Or, you know, if I was ever put in a situation, like I flat fucking said it, you know, many times of what the fuck I would do. And then, you know, and then, okay, so, and then the after effect, right? That night. So I just told you all that, right? You know, for 8 years, I have talked about that. For 8 years, I have talked about, like, you know, fucking, if me and him ever got fucking, you know, face to face, I'd knock him the fuck out. Like, I don't ever want to see him again. I wouldn't fucking ever speak to him again. I'd never fucking, you know, the next time I'd probably speak to him is when he's on his fucking deathbed, or fucking, you know, or at the grave. Well, last night when we got home, and as we're, you know, me and my girlfriend, you know, is sitting there and laying, I think we went to go lay down, or maybe it was like while we were sitting there on the couch watching TV. You know, I'd asked her, you know, I'd asked her a couple different questions, and I'd asked her because, you know, I was like, you know, one, I think the first question popped in my mouth. I was like, you know, what you witnessed tonight, did that affect you in any way and make you look at me differently? Like, you know, did that make you, basically, I was asking, did that make you look at me like a monster? You know, the whole screaming and yelling and fucking, you know, crying, you know, all this different shit, did that make you look at any way? And she was like, no. She was like, I've seen you holler before, you know. And a great thing about it, while she was there, because she was there, you know, with me, the great thing about it too was that even my nephew that was there, he showed up because he lives across the, you know, the road, and he come out there, you know, to have my back, you know, to make sure, you know, I was going to be okay. Because he didn't want to see me get in any trouble, because, like he said, there are a bunch of cop collars over there. But he'd even noticed that, you know, there was a few times that I think I was about to, you know, I was getting to the point that I was about to choose violence. There was a couple times I was about to get to that point. And I think my girlfriend knew that, and how hyped up I was really getting myself. And she would very quietly just say, you know, hey babe, you know, or she'd kind of, you know, put her input in or something. And just hearing her voice, like, seemed to ground me and take me off the focus of him. Like, you know, so that was a very, very great thing, you know, for it to happen, and to have her there. It was kind of, you know, shitty that was the first time she ever fucking, you know, met him. And, you know, I'm screaming and hollering, and we're both screaming and hollering at each other. But, you know, the after effect though, after asking that question, you know, she's like, no, like, you know, I don't look at you any differently. Well, then the whole hypocrite thing fucking, you know, kicked in, and, you know, and I was like, well, you know, you seen me cry, and, you know, and I didn't hit him, you know, like I didn't do what the fuck I said I was going to do. Like, you know, basically I'm just a fucking shit talker. Like, you think I'm a bitch? You think I'm a pussy now? Like, you think I'm fucking weak now because, you know, I didn't do what the fuck I said I was going to do? And she looked at me, and I think I'm getting the wrong, or the words right. But, you know, she looked at me and she said, she was like, honestly, I think you're actually stronger than you know, than before, because you showed a lot of restraint of not choosing violence, and you didn't do that. You know, basically said, I can't remember exact words right now, but babe, I know you're in there watching. Maybe I could have her tell you if she'll come in here. I don't know if she will or not. But that whole thing, you know, like afterwards, like that old me started creeping back and was like, you know, you should have fucking did this. You should have done that. Like you should have unleashed the beast. Like, you know, you should have let that monster fucking out the cage just for a few minutes and fucking done what you had to do because now you look like a weak ass crying fucking bitch and you didn't do the thing that you said you were going to do for fucking, you know, 8 years if you ever fucking seen him again. And what's up, my love?
I'm talking shit because my phone died. I can't see.
Oh, your phone died? No, I was talking shit. What did you say yesterday when I asked you if you thought I was a weak and a crybaby bitch and if I was a pussy for not choosing violence with my dad? What was the exact words you said yesterday?
I said that makes you stronger, makes you less of a bitch and stronger. The fact that you could restrain yourself, you could hold back from choosing violence. With that stronger, the weaker man would lash right out, act on impulse.
Thank you, Mom. Did you guys all hear that? Did you hear everything she said? I love you.
I love you too. Yeah, my phone's dead.
Oh. Your phone's always dead, babe. You act like you don't have a charger.
I don't.
Yes, you do. Yeah, Becky, you're 100% correct. Becky said the old you would have had zero restraint. Okay, I wanted to make sure you guys heard her. Yeah, the old me would not. I would have not have restrained myself, and I would have went there looking for violence. That would have been the only reason I would have showed up. I wanted violence and was looking for it. So the after effect of that, just, you know, and to hear her say that, like, it's hard, as a Marine and as a man, you know, that society and, you know, all your life, you know, you're told, you know, fucking you got to be a man in your word and you can't be a bitch. You can't be a pussy. You can't be fucking weak. You can't cry. You can't do this. You can't do that. Man the fuck up. All these different things. And it felt like a lot of that shit last night that I wasn't being a man. Like I wasn't doing what the fuck I should have done. I wasn't fucking, you know, being who I was supposed to be and who I said I was supposed to be. And it made me feel like a weak ass bitch. Like, I had to deal with that. Like I still kind of dealing with that today. You know, thankfully, you know, y'all heard what my girlfriend just said. And thankfully, you know, I have her and she was able to tell me that, but you know, I am a very violent person. Like I am. I'm not one of those ones that like, oh, you know, talking and, you know, this and that, you know, and especially like bullies and stuff. Like, no, I believe in violence and I believe that violence has a place. I believe that, you know, I believe violence can cure a lot of fucking shit. I believe, you know, fucking, you know, that, you know, I ain't saying, you know, pick on the innocent and weak, but the fucking, you know, the bullies out there, definitely, you know, a bully only knows one kind of fucking language, and that's violence. And to stop a bully and what we're teaching kids nowadays, you know, fucking is not how you stand up to a fucking bully and then watch how that bully fucking, you know, acts then. But, you know, to get back on subject, it's a crazy feeling in the after effects. You know, it's this that, you know, having to deal with it and then, you know, think to myself, like, you know, am I weak? Am I a pussy that, you know, I sat there and cried in front of like 4 or 5 other fucking people the other night, you know, and I didn't fucking, you know, choose violence and I didn't fucking, you know, do this and I didn't do that. And then it, you know, made me to think back that, like, you know, every time, you know, I had hurt somebody else just because when I was mad and they ended up touching me, you know, it's like, holy shit, you know, fucking, like, you know, how was I able to restrain myself this time, but, you know, not before? And a lot of it is because, you know, I know the answers. It's, you know, I've worked on myself so much. Like, I've become a lot better than what the fuck I used to be. I just done a lot of work in 4 fucking years. I was definitely dreading getting on here and doing this live. But yeah, all right. Now, after all that, I do feel better. I do feel like, whether, and like I said, I straight told him, I forgave him for me so I can move on with my life, so I can let this shit fucking go. Like, I did it for me, and the forgiveness wasn't about him. I know it did fucking, had to sting him a little bit that I was sitting there telling him, you know what, I forgive you. Like, I forgive you for this shit. I fucking forgive you. So I'm gonna go back through some of the comments because I know there's some questions. Or Stacy, Becky, can you guys go through the comments? Can you guys pin those questions for me again? Setting baggage down, that definitely it did feel like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I feel oddly calm today, like oddly calm. Okay, so one of the questions that was asked was, so you think if that side come out, could it have scared her because of her past? Yeah, honestly, I do. I think if I would have chose violence in that moment, that I do think, it may have made her look at me differently. It may have scared her a little bit, because of her and her past and the things she's been through. Maybe it would have, maybe it wouldn't. I'm not for sure. Babe, we'll ask her. We'll ask the source. My love. She's coming. My personal opinion, yeah, I think it may have changed her outlook. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you yell for me?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
One of the questions was, so if you would have seen that side of me last night, freaking the violence side, if I would have chose violence last night, would that made you look at me differently because of your past and things you've been through? Answer honestly, please.
Look at you differently in the moment, probably. Altogether, no.
What do you mean in the
Because
moment?
in the moment, you know how I am with conflict. So I was already quiet because I don't deal well with it. So I probably would have been real quiet, is what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't have known I really wouldn't have known what to say or how to act. But the fact, you weren't you wouldn't have been charging at me or attacking me. So no, I wouldn't have actually looked at you differently because you weren't attacking me. My issues come from me being attacked. So you would have to literally fully be coming at me or be trying to harm me for me to look at you differently, because that's where my issues stem, not you attacking somebody else.
So if that wouldn't have happened, you wouldn't have been scared of me or looked at me like I was a monster or anything like that?
No, I wouldn't have known what to say to you. What was that?
I don't know. My computer made some kind of noise. I don't know what that noise was.
I wouldn't have known what to say for a while. I'd probably been quiet because I know you've been heated even after. I probably would have made sure I don't trigger nothing just because of how I am. Okay, I get it. Everybody on live doesn't know how I am. But you knowing how I am, being around, I would be probably silent. You'd be pulling shit out of me as usual.
So do you think you've obviously come a long way since me and you've been together? I can actually get you to talk. You are a little bit mouthier more than what the fuck you were when we first started dating. Would you think that would have set you back at all? Seeing me that way? Like, would that like set the progress me and you have made? Would that like, would you have been afraid like, oh shit, I actually seen him in the moment and seen what he's capable of, that he is, you know, he can be a very violent man? Would that have like been, would you like tiptoed or like walked on eggshells around me or something? Or
still, in my opinion, no. I legit, my thoughts and feelings on it, I don't think anything would change with our dynamic until the day you would come to attack me, like, or run up in my face and scream in my face. That would set me back. But that's coming at me. Me saying you come at someone else. I've seen people fight, like, and that's never affected me. And I don't.
okay. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
All right. I might bug you again. I don't know.
You just gotta yell. I'm in the living room.
Oh, okay.
My phone?
I thought I heard somebody either in the bathroom, or I didn't know if it was you or not.
Can we just stay in here?
No, you don't have to. You can if you want. It's up to you. When you're put in a DV situation, you're okay. Sorry, kind of scrolling back through the comments. Was there any other questions, Stacy and Becky? Oh no, you're fine, babe.
Just bring my stuff in here.
It's up to you, babe. You don't have to.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I love you.
I love you.
Yeah. It has been almost 1 year. We were actually discussing that earlier. We were trying to figure out what the exact date was, because I wanted our first date set up as wait a minute, hold on. Okay. I'll just make sure that message was important. I wanted our first date being the day right after Thanksgiving, which would be, what is that, the 26th? That's originally how I wanted it set up. That way neither one of us could ever forget it. So it's actually our first date was November 27th of last year. So it's coming up. We were just discussing it. She has a horrible memory, is not good at dates. She actually forgot my birthday. She'd forgot my birthday. I just want that to be known. Like, literally that day of, I think she told me birthday like a couple days before, or happy birthday, or got me a cake, you know, because so the kids could be there or something. I don't know. And then like the day of my birthday, like literally when we woke up, it was like finally around noon. I think one of the kids said happy birthday to me or something. And she kind of like, oh shit, I forgot it was your birthday today. But she knew like the day before, like a couple days before, like it was coming. So she's got a bad memory too. Why don't I have, hold on, I'm gonna pull up this TikTok on fucking my computer. I don't know why I didn't do that before, so I don't have to stop. Okay, so I'm going to stay on TikTok for a little bit longer, but I've already gone an hour on the live and Facebook for the podcast. So podcast listeners, live listeners, I'm going to jump off here. If you want to listen more, you can get on TikTok, but always remember two things. You're stronger than what you think, and you're not alone. Peace. And make the rest of your life the best of your life.